It's another bonus video. Thank you for watching and listening to the Pigs and Fergs podcast. This is what we call P&F bonus. We've already put up a Royal Rumble review from 2003, the year that Piggy was born, and now we're going to do one from the year that I was born, 2000, no not 2000, I'm not that young, I wish, 1998. Just a month before baby Fergs was born, we had the Royal Rumble. And what a Royal Rumble lineup this is. I mean, I believe there was Tom Brandi in this thing, there was Phineas Godwin, Savio Vega, a who's who of stars. So, before we even start this Rumble, what did you think of this match?
It's a very surprising match, to be honest, because usually to me the Rumble has the main event. I understand in 1998 it was different because you literally had, you had Shawn Michaels and Undertaker, two of your biggest stars. Well, one of your biggest stars and a crybaby in his time, at the time. Or as, what was he called on Young Rock? Hold on. He was called something different on Young Rock. He was called Chad Frost.
Chad Frost? Damn.
Yeah, because they don't want to, because you know The Rock's massive, they don't want to legally say it was Shawn Michaels because Shawn's a changed man. But in 1998, he was a bad man.
Yeah, well, I suppose the issues there prevented them from having any matches, but, you know, this Rumble overall is definitely a look to the future. As we said in that, we can't say it yet because it's not been released, but there is an episode coming up where we talk about the future of wrestling. I believe it's Halloween Havoc we're about to do. And the kind of theme there was a lot of wrestlers who would later become big, and you kind of see this here, you know, with the likes of Mankind. I know Mankind's obviously like a big name already, but he would just get bigger. Stone Cold is on his rise. The Rock is only just been a heel, so he's starting to really kind of catch steam. And then, you know, there's a couple more people in this one, but we'll just start off with number 1 and number 2. First two entrants, we've got Cactus Jack and Chainsaw Charlie, otherwise known as Terry Funk. They're tag team partners. Obviously, they're going to get hardcore, and they're beating each other up with chairs. Brutal chair shots, they would not fly today. And then, can you remember the name of who comes in at number 3?
I cannot.
Are you talking to me from the back rooms, are you? Yeah. Oh, well, so, I'll tell you, it's Tom Brandi arrives third. Basically, your resident jobber. I know he had a brief feud with Sable, and not Sable, he had a brief feud with Mark Mero around this time as well, so lasts not too long, gets thrown out immediately. And then a big one for number 4, it's The Rock. What do you think of what The Rock's looking like here, in terms of his overall presentation and, like, how he's kind of grown into the character?
It's kind of, it's very weird seeing The Rock here, because, like, The Rock in the last 10 months, in about 10 months' time, he becomes WWF champion. It's so weird seeing him, like, here in early 1998, and he's like, I am The Rock, I am a vanilla man. And then, like, 10 months' time, he's just like, screwing Mankind out of the title. And then hitting them with chair shots 2 months later, 13 chair shots.
Well, you want to talk about chair shots, he's getting battered by Cactus and Charlie, I think, in this one, isn't he?
I think so.
Yeah, so he slowly is just getting beaten down, but yeah, like you said, The Rock, he's got a lot of character development to go, but he's getting there. I think Cactus suplexes Charlie onto 2 open chairs. That looked very nasty. The Rock is just trying not to get involved, and it takes a beating from both. And then number 5 from the Headbangers, it's Mosh, and then Phineas I. Godwin, Pig. Is he your favourite wrestler?
Can we move on?
Oh, you're not represented by Phineas then?
No.
It's offensive to pigs, I imagine.
Yeah.
So the Godwins, obviously not on Piggy's good side here. So.
But he is Welsh, I think, so he's a sheep shagger, so.
Yeah. Okay. So you don't want to associate with that?
Yeah, I don't want to.
To be clear, fine. Speaking of which, Jim Ross says he's what you get when your first cousins reproduce. Oh, great. The jobbers are just... There's a lot of jobbers now, because 8-Ball, as well, with shiny head, coming in. Why wasn't he number 8?
Because his name's 8-Ball.
Yeah, but he wasn't number 8, he was number 7.
Right, I don't know why.
What was the point? Anyway, Cactus Jack is eliminated. Oh, gutted for Cactus Jack. I'm surprised he went so early.
I'm surprised as well.
But don't worry, I have a feeling Cactus Jack will be avenged later on in this thing. Blackjack Bradshaw is next. He's not JBL yet, but I do remember, I think I watched a video by Wrestling Gifts where he goes through the predictions that people had on the message boards around this time, and one of them said that within 5 years, Bradshaw would be WWF champion. I imagine that person was laughed at back in the day, but look at him now.
Little did he know he'd get repackaged and become world champion.
Were you a fan of Mustache Bradshaw? Did he still have the mustache?
I think he did. It's just late 98 he shaves it, I think. Late 98, and he joins for Rook. Honestly,
watching this thing, I know it sounds like I haven't watched it. I promise you I've watched it. Okay? It skips my mind. I'm not looking too hard at his facial features. Sometimes there's stuff there that I want to see. But then again, The Rock is here, and I would say this first part of the match is kind of boring. What did you think?
Yeah, this Rumble is not good.
No.
There's a lot of job. People say the Attitude Era had the most stacked stars. They are right and wrong, because to me, the Attitude Era doesn't start till Vince Russo is gone. So late 99 and early 2000, that's when you get all your stars. 98 and early 99, no.
You're devoid of...
Yeah. Sorry to interrupt you, but early 98 and late 98, you have no real stars. You do have your up-and-coming stars in Hunter Hearst Helmsley, The Rock, Stone Cold, Kane, Taker. But in terms of the mid-card division, that doesn't really start going until after, sadly, Owen Hart has passed and Jeff Jarrett is released and China is still there but mucking around. You don't really start getting it until August when Chris Jericho comes in, Sean Stasiak comes in, Kurt Angle comes in, and then Benoit comes in, Eddie Guerrero comes in 2000 with Dean Malenko and Perry Saturn, and Edge and Christian sometimes go into that division. That's when you start getting the Attitude Era, that I know.
Yeah. You put Sean Stasiak in that list.
Yeah, he's in the mid-card division.
Meat.
Oh yeah, it was Meat. Sorry.
Meat. Yeah. And, that's a name that kind of sticks out like a sore thumb. But the match, is pretty boring. But I would argue that even with because, you're looking at the card here and you're looking at how many people are in here at the moment and the kind of lack of star power. Even with that lack of star power, the shows, week to week, were very entertaining, at least in my view, going back and watching it. So the writing was on point, at least in my opinion. People might look back at it differently, but I still get a kick out of 98 Raw. I think it's very interesting. The next... Yeah?
Sorry, because while we're doing the Rumble, we can talk about the Attitude Era, because we won't really get a point until we start a certain charisma arc. But for now, to give my thoughts on the Rumble, or the year itself, I personally can't go back and watch old Raws in 98 or 99, just because, to me, I'm a person who prefers storytelling over wackiness. I know I'm saying that I have booked some wackiness for Exxon Pro, which will happen in the next few months. But a little peek behind the curtain there. But 98 Raw doesn't do it for me. 97 Raw though. 1997 is probably one of the best years in the WWF. Yeah,
no, I'd agree with that. Especially the Brett and Austin stuff, the way that was playing out. And, Michaels and Undertaker, their feud really picking up. Even though it gets raunchier in 98, that doesn't substitute for good storytelling. Although, I really enjoyed in 98. I enjoyed Austin. Oh God, that's pretty much it, isn't it? But Austin was such a focal point of the show that it was easy to forget the rest of the stuff. And I guess Mick Foley as well, his kind of arc in, but he was so tied to Austin as well. So yeah, again, I think 97 has it beat in that aspect, but I'd have to go back and compare them. I think that would be an interesting look. So, next up in this one, we got Owen Hart, but he gets attacked from Jeff Jarrett. Oh my goodness. Betrayal.
No. This earth is not your place. The pale skin on your face. I'll tell the king. I forget the lyrics.
Not quite yet.
In my world. I
didn't even know you were doing My World. I haven't even listened to the lyrics before, I must say.
Hold on, what are the lyrics?
Okay, well...
I'll get the lyrics prepared for when Jeff Jarrett comes back in.
Okay, yeah, we'll do that. So, Owen's taken to the back, and that was a point where I was like, you know what, could have used Owen there, it's getting a bit boring. So, Chainsaw Charlie's managing to hold on. Steve Blackman shows up, with his kendo sticks and runs in, and then you've got D'Lo Brown, before his glow-up, he's just a regular old member of the Nation, right here, but he ends up beating up The Rock, which is a bit odd. Kurgan, big old Kurgan, Carly before Carly in at 11. He's getting pushed around this time as a heel, but then he eventually goes with the Oddities later on. And are you a fan of the Oddities? I like them.
I don't mind them.
The ICP.
Oh, Insane Clown Posse.
Yeah, they were the ICP. The ICP theme music for the Oddities as well.
I didn't know that. I'm not really a big fan of ICP.
Oh, fair enough.
I do know someone who is a big fan of ICP, and that's BCW Fred. He was a massive fan of Insane Clown Posse.
Alright, well, I'll shout out BCW because I'm with you there. Juggalos for life. But that doesn't help. Kurgan's not found the Juggalo spirit yet, and that's why he's not going to win this Rumble. Spoiler alert. But he does eliminate Mosh, and then Sable comes out. Woo! Oh yeah, Mark Merrill's there too, because he's at number 10, number 12 even. Kurgan dumps out Steve Blackman, and then... I know.
Steve, why?
And also,
why? Steve should have won it.
Yeah. So,
Steve
Blackman versus Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania.
Yeah. Mike Tyson wouldn't have been the only real boxer there. Steve Blackman could knock out prime Mike Tyson, and I will fight anyone on that. Because Steve motherfucking Blackman is the man. He is the man. You talk about the nature boy Ric Flair. No, Ric Flair could not lay Steve's boots. No one can lay Steve's boots.
He kicked out a 2 to malaria.
He did?
He did. And on his deathbed, came back to wrestle. And yeah, that's an inspirational story if you've heard one. So that's that. And then, speaking of inspirational, he's quite an inspirational guy on his socials. Ken Shamrock, the world's most dangerous... Well, if Piggy were to have you believe, the second most dangerous man behind Steve Blackman. So then...
third. He'd be the third.
Behind...
Dan Severn.
Oh, and Dan Severn, of course. So, number 3, still top 3. Still good.
He goes Steve Blackman, and then it goes Dan Severn, then Haku or Ken Shamrock, and then number 4 is either Haku or Ken Shamrock. You can really switch between them. And then Brock Lesnar is number 5, you know.
Does Kurgan not get on that list?
No.
Because he's eliminated. That's why.
Oh, haha.
That's for eliminating Steve Blackman, Kurgan. You get what you deserve. Thrasher comes in next, but D'Lo's shaking his head and trash talking and choking out The Rock. Kind of weird that the heels would team up on each other. But yeah, very interesting. And next out, a masked man comes out in his brown attire, but who is it?
Who is it, actually? I don't know.
Well, I thought we saw him get eliminated earlier. Oh, no, it's not Cactus Jack. It's Mankind.
Oh, it's Mankind. I was confused. I thought there was like some new wrestler in the World Wrestling Federation that I missed.
No, you'd be forgiven for thinking that this is Mick Foley. No, it's Mankind. He's out. And he gets rid of Chainsaw Charlie, so there you go. And then Ken Shamrock's beating the piss out of The Rock for, I believe earlier on in the night, they had a title match which Rocky scraped by Shamrock. And then Goldust comes out at number 17. So he eliminates Mankind. This is when he's doing his artist formerly known as Goldust shtick. And
fun fact.
Yeah.
Just weeks before this, in about December, I want to say December, or it might have been January 98, and it's not been edited off the network. Now, in time of recording this, it has not been edited off the network. But just before this Rumble, Goldust did blackface, so...
He also did Goldface, though.
What?
He's done Goldface too, so, you know, just
and Greenface.
Yeah, just on balance, he has done all the colours of the rainbow, so it's okay. So blackface is Fergs does not support blackface.
NLW is cancelled. He has said he supports
blackface. Never mind.
So guys, so let's get this correct here. Fergal says it's okay to do blackface once you paint your face other colours.
I'm not going to cut that. I'm going to leave it in. Make your own mind. Make your own damn mind up on whether you think blackface is okay or not. I don't think it is. There you go. I've said it. Hot take over. Mankind is eliminated by Goldust, who's wearing Goldface. He's eliminated Mankind, and yeah, goodbye. He had 2 chances. Well, some people would argue he had 2 chances, but in my view, they're 2 different people, so it's fair enough. And yeah, everyone's fighting, and Mero's doing his little jig in the middle. That's quite fun. Even though no one's touching him. And then your boy, My World. Well, not My World, but...
Oh, do you want me to sing the song?
You can sing the song, yeah.
Oh, you have to edit in. Ha ha ha. This art is not your place. The pale skin is on your face. If you step inside with me, you will see a king. He ain't dead, he ain't the Rock. Don't want to hear your big mouth talking. My world, my world, my world, my world. I get high with my own pain. What's the truth? The who's insane? Hold your lies and accusations. Don't mean jack to your situations. Yeah, that's the lyrics.
Very nice.
In my world, my world.
Did you see him crack your man from I can't remember what he's in. The Paul Waterhausen guy. Jeff Jarrett cracked him with a guitar on Rampage.
Beetlejuice?
No, not Beetlejuice, but he did. He's still drawing dimes and smashing guitars, so good for him.
Paul something.
Yeah. But he's in I, Tonya. Have you seen I, Tonya? I watched that for the first time the other day.
Well, let me see, who was it? Give me a second. It's on YouTube, and I know that much. I know YouTube was the thing in 1998.
Yeah, we're getting ahead of ourselves here, but, you know, in my opinion, Jeff Jarrett has very much got a place in AEW. That's just my opinion. I mean, call me a
Paul
Jarrett
Walter.
Mark. Yeah. Paul Waterhauser. So, yeah. I'll stop talking about movie. To be honest, this match, it's not doing it for me at this point. You know, apart from the Foley stuff, it's a little bit thin on the ground. What do you think?
So, something I do want to say is, the one thing I always hated about the Fiend character is, and I even have this problem with NLW.
Okay.
And I will say it, I will stand by this take. To me, the Fiend should have always been like Mankind. Because when Mankind was on Raw, he was never called The Mankind, Mick Foley. I never understood why The Fiend was always called The Fiend, Bray Wyatt. He should have been a separate entity to Bray Wyatt. I don't understand why he was always the same entity. Like you didn't do that for Mankind. It's like our Cactus Jack. He wasn't Cactus Jack Mick Foley. He wasn't Dude Love Mick Foley. He was Dude Love, Cactus Jack, Commissioner, and Mick Foley and Mankind. The 4 faces of Foley. Even though people will say 3, there was 4 faces. You're all idiots. There's 4. Commissioner, Mankind, Dude Love, and Cactus.
Yeah, that's true. But is Foley's face well, no, it is a face, I suppose. But that's him. That's not character. So I suppose the 3 faces of... You know. Anyway, it's pedantic. It's pedantics here. Jarrett's out, as you said. But Owen Hart gets his revenge and goes after Jeff Jarrett. So there you go. And then he eliminates Jeff Jarrett. So not only does Steve Blackman get eliminated almost immediately, but so does Jeff Jarrett. This is not the Rumble for you, is it?
No.
Well, but...
So if people don't know I hold Jeff Jarrett with high praise. Because to me, Jarrett is always overlooked. Because he's always that guy who buried his roster, which is true. You can hold that against him. But people should respect Jeff Jarrett, because if it wasn't for Jarrett and Bob Watts, I want to say, I think it was Bob Watts, I forget his name. If it wasn't for them two, you would not have AJ Styles on your TV, Samoa Joe, Jane Storm, Chris Harris, Abyss. You wouldn't have had Christopher Daniels, Jay Lethal. They would not have been on your TV. So you have a lot to thank Jeff Jarrett for. Even Don West and Mike Tenay would not have been on your TV had it not been for Jarrett and Bob Watts. I think it's Bob Watts.
So
it's Bob Watts.
You shilling for Jeff Jarrett lasted longer than he lasted in this match. So, you know. Yeah. But I do respect what you say. I agree with you. But here's someone else who has very much made a career for themselves in wrestling, and someone who's very gracious, not bitter at all. Honky Tonk Man is at number 19. Why? I don't know, but he's got.
There's something hilarious. I have to find it. This has to be put in post production. Where is it? There is something I found. There is something I have found, and I need to find it, and I can't stop laughing at it. Where is it?
You got to put it up to the mic, and then I want to hear it.
No, it's not. I know it's a link. This has to be shown on screen. Honky Tonk Man was selling something on eBay. He was selling a Hall of Fame ring.
Because for years, I swear he was like, no, I'm not going into that Hall of Fame. The Hall of Fame's stupid. And then he eventually went into that Hall of Fame. So has he gone back on that now and is wanting to sell it?
Here you go. I've sent it to you.
Oh my God, he is not looking well.
If that ring is still up, I'll have to have a look very quickly on my eBay watch list.
You're going to buy it? Why is he nude?
That has to be the screenshot for the episode.
I'll get the video taken down if I post that. Just type in Honky Tonk Man Hall of Fame ring. He's not got a shirt on. You can see his titties are out. His titties are out.
Put a bra on him, it'll be fine.
Oh, fair enough. Well, Triple H and China Sharp, and they distract Owen and eliminate them and then beat him up with the crutch. So, yeah. Owen Hart was like the hottest thing in wrestling. Well, not the hottest thing in wrestling, but was one of the hottest things in wrestling. Just a month prior to this, he was the Black Heart. He attacked Shawn Michaels. You thought that they were pushing something between Owen and Michaels, but it never happened. And then Triple H just buried Owen. And quite sad, really. And then number 20, Ahmed Johnson, who I forgot was still with the company at this point, comes out. And then I think Shamrock's gone as well, which is weird.
I found Honky Tonk Man's eBay page.
Okay.
Here's something else that he's selling. I don't know if this is the real Honky Tonk Man. I hope it is.
Yo, I'd buy that.
You want to know how much it is?
How much?
€148, $160.
That's not bad for a belt buckle that's been autographed by him, you know what I mean?
A man who didn't want to go into the Hall of Fame, complained for years, and then is in the Hall of Fame.
And then wants to sell the mentions of it. Anyway, the irony. Shamrock should have been one of the final members of this match, but he's gone, so that kind of sucks. Mark Henry comes out next at 21. Apparently, 17 people in the ring are making their Rumble debuts. So that just goes to show you how either, right, it tells us they're building for the future, or B, all these people are jobbers and aren't worth caring about because they're new. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah. I think it's because they're all new and they want to build to the future. Well, famously, they didn't want to build Mark Henry to the future. They tried everything to get him fired, didn't they? Yeah.
I think it was the same with Big Show, where they realised their investment wasn't really worth it, and they just thought, oh, we'll see, and they both stuck with it. So fair play to both of them. You know, they're still employed in 2023. Well, this is coming out. 22, and nobody comes out, so that's odd. Ahmed Johnson is eliminated, and then Phineas as well. So Ahmed attacks Phineas outside as well. But D'Lo continues to go after the Nation, which is still really strange. Why? I don't understand that. Karma comes out, aka the Godfather, aka Papa Shango, and shoves Ahmed Johnson when he comes out. And then Ahmed tries to fight back, but then just can't be arsed and leaves. And finally, oh my god, the glass breaks at 24. Who is it?
Mr. Steve motherfucking Blackman. He's back.
No, the three faces of Blackman.
Yeah, Steve Austin.
Yeah, so Steve Austin comes in. I wonder who's going to win this Rumble. Oh yeah, we should have predicted at the start who was going to win it.
Well, my prediction's gone.
Yeah,
so
never mind. No Blackman. In all seriousness, is there any way anyone other than Austin could have won this? Is there any justification you could have said for anyone else winning this thing?
Triple H.
He ain't in it.
I don't... Oh, damn it. But if he was, that would be the only other person, simply because of the click.
Yeah.
Because I had a feeling Mr. Chad Frost would have been like, look, brother, look. I think of the Bide Race, brother. Me versus Triple H. That will sell. I can put him over, and then I can ride into the sunset.
My idea, right, it has to be Austin, obviously. No one's going to sit here and tell you and try and rebook Austin's rise. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to be that guy for the sake of contrarianism. But pretending Stone Cold Steve Austin doesn't exist, which is difficult because the whole build and this whole match is about him. And, yeah, having him... I understand why they had him come in late, but, you know, could have used a bit of something earlier on. The only two people I could think would win this one would be, you could do Cactus Jack, or you could do Ken Shamrock or Owen Hart. Those are three people I think could have been pushed to that level, do you know?
To me, that would have been... I understand Austin was the future. You don't want to build Owen Hart up because of Bret Hart. But to me, that would have been the better WrestleMania main event, to me personally, and I will stand by that. And Owen Hart avenging his brother, Bret, because Michaels couldn't handle Bret. He took his ball and went home. So he's fighting on behalf of his brother Bret to win the WWF title. To me, that is a great story that I wish they went with, but they went, no, you're used toys. Fuck you, mid-card. And you're like...
They really missed the boat on Owen being pushed, especially in 98, where they had a chance, but it's a shame.
To quote Roddy Piper, Vince Russo, you killed Owen Hart, and you will pay for it.
Killed his push.
He killed him.
Killed his push. We're not getting too controversial. All right, next up.
Oh, no, I will stand by this. You killed him, Vince Russo. You put him up in that rafter. You made him fall to his death. I understand people will say it's the guys who rigged it, but you wanted him up there. Owen didn't want to go up there. You forced him to go up there. He went up there.
And by the way, those people who are complaining that AEW is making Owen Hart figures and calling his widow bitter and all this stuff, can we just put that right now out there, how weird a theory is that? Like, your husband dies and you're being told that, oh, get over it. How, like, weird is that? It's a weird detachment from wrestling fans, because it's like that for years, isn't it?
See, this is what I don't get. And I understand we don't want to deviate. This is a bonus episode. But it pisses me off, because in the early 2000s, WWE made figures of guys who weren't in the WWF. Bruiser Brody, Abdullah the Butcher, Jesse Buddy the Ventura. I understand he was in WWF, but still, roll with it. Andy Kaufman, who was not in the WWF, but they made figures of him. But Owen Hart can't have a figure made because he's in a rival promotion. That makes no logical sense. That means then that Billy Gunn can't have figures made in WWE because he's in AEW. It's a stupid idea. So what's Martha supposed to do? She's supposed to go up to Triple H, shake his hand and go, well, I know you killed my husband, but let bygones be bygones. I guess that happens in the workplace. Da-da-da-da-da-da. I love you. Like, her husband died from an accident. It was an accident. Although I do blame Vince Russo for the most part, and Vince, because Vince did also cover up Jimmy Snuka's murder, but that's a different story. And so, like,
this Rumble's so bad that we've deviated into these topics.
Yeah, but I'm not wrong. Like, I don't understand this criteria online that an AEW can't make figures of a guy. He's a wrestler. People want to acknowledge Owen Hart. They're sick of Owen Hart being Benoit for years. He was Benoit, whether we like to admit it or not. He was pretty much Benoit. He was never mentioned. They just moved on with their lives. You know, Vince went out back, had a smoke after sex, moved on with his life. Martha was bitter, which we understand now why. Bret understands why Martha is angry. The rest of the Hart family understand why Martha's angry. They know why he's being mentioned in AEW. AEW are trying to honour the legacy of Owen Hart, which has been dying because WWE basically accidentally killed a man by accident and refused to stop the show. The show should have been stopped. A man died in the ring. Well, he didn't die in the ring, but he died. A man died, and people are like, why doesn't Martha get over? Because they didn't stop the show.
Yeah, and also, you know, not to go too far off the point, this has gone completely off the rails, but I agree with you. The consensus that also I think it's important to deviate Owen Hart's name being like, oh, was he the guy that died because of negligence of WWE, rather than have that be the focal point. Have the focal point be, he was a great wrestler. Here, check out some of his matches in Stampede. Check out the influence he's had on wrestling. And I think that's what AEW can do to kind of highlight that, you know? So,
It just sickens me, the fact that fans for years were complaining there was no Owen Hart merchandise, there was no figures, there was no DVDs, there was no video game appearances, and then AEW comes along and it's like, we're going to rectify that. He will appear in this game, you can have him fight Bryan Danielson till your heart content. And the fans are like, no, we don't want that. It has to be with WWE. No, it doesn't. Not every wrestler was WWE born. Owen didn't start out in the WWF. He started out in Stampede with his dad and the legend that is Bruce Hart. But people fail to look past wrestling because they like looking at wrestling in the sense that only WWF or WWE can have these wrestlers. No one else. And when you die or retire, you can't go anywhere else. Your legacy can't be honoured anywhere else.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Stupid. Yeah, ridiculous. But yeah, back to the match. Sorry, Austin.
No, it just annoyed me. I'm finally allowed to agree these thoughts. Like,
yeah, it's fair. I mean, especially when stuff like this comes up, you know, and it kind of reminds you about how, especially around this time period, this is the time where they could have made Owen a megastar, but you know, that's just like solely wrestling things. Obviously, there's more important stuff going out there, but yeah, the Austin gets rid of Mero and 8-Ball, and beats up D'Lo as well. Henry Godwin comes out next, but I don't think he stands a chance. The Hog, obviously, is the Hog bigger than the pig?
Ask her mother.
Oh my good grief. This has gone off the rails. Savio Vega comes out, trying to restore some order here, but doesn't do anything, really. Number 27 is Farouk. I guess, no, Farouk couldn't have won this, but he's still the leader of the nation, unlike what people would have you believe, and The Rock obviously acts like the leader, but Farouk is losing his grip on the nation at the moment. And number 28, the best face of Foley, Dude Love. He's entered this Rumble 3 times now, and even eliminates Bradshaw. And then Chains comes in as well. Honky Tonk Man's still knocking about for some reason. And then, Vader! Vader's in it!
Oh my god. Sorry, that was a late reaction.
I know. Vader, though, oh god, I wasn't expecting him to be in this thing. I know he was on the show, but I didn't expect him to be in the Rumble. That's good, though. Oh, man, that's awesome. So, the ring is pretty full at this point, and, like, I'd say more than half of them are just cannon fodder for the main event guys. And then the eliminations, it's too quick to even, like, register, really. Everyone's getting thrown out. Even Vader, sadly. But yeah, comes down to Stone Cold, Dude Love, The Rock, and Farouk. Now, considering the lack of star power in this Rumble, not a bad Final Four. What did you think?
Yeah, not a bad Final Four.
And in terms of, like, that last part, you know, we'll talk about Mick Foley's efforts in this matchup, coming out as 3 different characters. What are your thoughts on that?
I love the idea. I wish they did that with Bray Wyatt. Because to me, Mick Foley is a great storyteller. And I understand people are going to go, well, Bray Wyatt is not in Mick Foley's league, I'll have you know. I'm not saying that. But it's all about building a future. And the reason why I'll always bring Bray Wyatt into the same thing with Mick Foley, it absolutely baffles me that they got it right once, but they can't get it right twice. Like, you think, like, the same man who booked Mick Foley could book Bray Wyatt.
Yeah, that's true. Like...
But my thoughts on that is I love the idea. Like, I really wish they recreated it. I understand you'll have to pay him 3 times, but...
I mean, if you write it down and you get all technical about it, like, you can only pay him once for 3 times the work.
It surprises me that they cannot redo this. And then fans, if they redo it online, fans will be like, well, I'll have you know, they did it better with Mick Foley. And you're like, man, wrestling is all about reusing the past and acknowledging the future.
Tell these dudes online who are chatting shite about Uncle Howdy and Bray Wyatt right now and go and cope some more with the fact that your legendary Undertaker did this all the time, and it's different though because it's Bray Wyatt and it's 2023 and it's like, wrestling's not real. Get over it.
The fans online have this idea that wrestling can't be reused. I understand. I was one of them when Karrion Kross nearly came out with Sean O'Hare's gimmick. Wrestling has to be reused. Every storyline comes from the past because wrestling can't stay relevant unless the past is reused. Hence why Bray Wyatt is with Uncle Howdy. Hence why Hangman was built like Austin. Whether people like to admit that or not, he was basically a more anxious and realistic Stone Cold. Because Stone Cold was basically, I'm an alcoholic who batters everyone. While Hangman was, I'm an alcoholic who's anxious and depressed. And I batter everyone. See, people like living in the past. They don't like looking at the future. It's different from music, but people can't comprehend it with wrestling. Wrestling moves on.
It's like
Chris
in
Benoit
music.
can't go in the Hall of Fame. Jimmy Snuka can't go in the Hall of Fame. No one can go in the Hall of Fame. It's a fucking fake Hall of Fame. Get over it. I don't care if you want Owen Hart in the Hall of Fame. Just get over the fact that Owen Hart is moved on with legacy. We can acknowledge all we want. Just move on.
It's like in music as well, where they sample stuff from previous songs, and no melody's ever the same. No melody can ever be, what's the word? It can't ever be a completely new strand. It always is being evolved, and that's the same with wrestling. It just reminded me of this here because it's just a different twist on the same old tale. And that's the same thing they're telling with Austin. And also, Rock and Farouk's story here as well. Farouk gets rid of Dude Love, and then The Rock gets rid of Farouk. We've seen the power struggle stuff before, but this is well done, And then finally we're down to The Rock and Stone Cold. The final two, they are just, they kind of start for a little bit, but it doesn't last too long. A stunner from Stone Cold to The Rock, and he does his old wibbly-wobbly Mr. Tickle selling, but that's going to be reserved for Randy Orton, I'm afraid. But The Rock eliminated by Austin, and Stone Cold Steve Austin wins his second Rumble in a row, and the second of 3 Rumbles he'll eventually win. So, this Royal Rumble sucked. I hated it. But aside from hating it, I did enjoy some things. Like, I enjoyed the 3 Faces of Foley. I enjoyed The Rock being in this one towards the end, and I did like that Cactus Jack and Chainsaw Charlie's beginning bit as well. I liked, and Stone Cold as well, just beating the hell out of everybody. That's what people wanted to see, I guess. So fair enough. But yeah, it was all right early, but then I don't know, like pretty quickly it got very, very boring, and everyone was just kind of waiting there. But yeah, not great. What did you think?
I didn't like this match, to be honest. Not like, I wouldn't recommend people going out there unless you are a fan who likes saying the Attitude Era was the best era in wrestling. No era can compete with it. Then you go and watch it. But to me, not my cup of tea. Don't care if you put sugar in it. Not my cup of tea. It might have my boys in it, but not my cup of tea.
You know, I feel like this whole episode we've just been going off on fans. Do you want to end on something positive?
Yeah, because this can be our rant. The Pigs and Fergs podcast does not. It only entails the people who want to listen to us. We're not putting up with people's bullshit who say this wrestling is better than this wrestling. We won't stand for it. I won't stand for it. I know you might be silent because you're Mr. I have to be anonymous here and look at everyone. I have to be the man from TNA where he just stands there and Ken Anderson is shocked. But I can speak my mind. You can sit there and be like, no. I'm Mr. NLW. We do not do controversy.
True, I can platform your controversy because they might be controversial opinions, but they're not too bad. It's not like me earlier saying, no, I'm not even going to clip it because it'll get clipped out of context if I say anything about the blackface stuff again. So let's move past that.
Davian, you know what to do. You know what to do, Davian, if you're listening.
No.
You know what to do.
No. But that was the Royal Rumble. A nice little fun little side review, which lasted almost as long as the full episode. So, hey ho, there you go. Next time, who knows what we'll be doing, but we'll do something. We'll do something fun and bonus for this Pigs and Fergs bonus episode. Thank you for listening, and we will catch you later. Say goodbye to the folks, Piggy.
Bye.